everybody, this is Dragonlord95 here with another episode of Sonic Brotherhood. But this time, it's a special. And this is entitled, well, these are required specials as I like to call them. And this is entitled The Elric Brothers. And from glancing down, it's basically the episode from 03 with how Ed and Al ended up in this situation and before they became military members. Anyways, with the title and supplies, the Elric Brothers. Risenbol, a mistress. Planet Mobius. 3227. In an automobile shop in Risenbol, the two Mobian dogs known as Edward and Alphonse Elric, with their friend Winry Rockbell. The rabbit holds a dog watching, and an owl draw a transmutation circle. See, this line goes here. And Winry got bored. Hey, I'm bored! Al looks at her while Ed finishes up the transmutation circle. 1 second, Winry. Oh, all right, we're done. The three stand in the circle. Around the circle. What do you think, Winry? I think it's a lousy present. Well, that's not the present. It's just an outline for one. Ed and Al hold their soil while Winry was watching. There's so many W's. Oh my god. What can I not weed? Ah. And the soil falls into the circle. And Al placed their hands on it while Winry and the real dog watches. The soil begins to transform, and when Winry looks shocked, the soil turns into a weird-looking figure, scaring her and the dog. Ah! Ed and Al finished the transformation with a doll, but Ed and Al looked at Winry crying. Winry! They both ran up to her and tried to calm her down. Narration? That was their first transmutation. Ed and Al were sitting outside the house while hearing people talking inside. They weren't trying to scare you, Winry. They went through a lot of trouble. Mr. and Mrs. Rockbell, the rabbits, and Trisha Elric, the dog, sit at the table talking to Winry. Yeah, because, basically, I prefer how it was slightly for the original because, hey, it's better if you're told this stuff rather than showing how it happened, because that just pretty much just sums up for a better storytelling perspective. Plus, it gave me more respect for one of the characters. Anywho. That's right. Edward and Alphonse were just trying to do something special for you. I'm sorry about this. It was a misunderstanding. Pinocchio Rockbell Rabbit opens the door behind Winry. You know, it's actually nice that we're getting different species and they're not hedgehogs. Seriously, there are too many echidnas and too many hedgehogs in that older series. Jeez! I get there are species and such, but come on, we don't need a whole group of them. Jeez. And how much you want to bet that the echidna storylines is definitely directly from Star Wars? And I don't even like Star Wars. It's just not my thing, people. It's just not my thing. Anyways. but no mistake of talent. You know, I found even the most gifted folks give up before doing anything, but your boys have one heck of a start. Panako shows the transmutated doll to Trisha. Looks at, look at this work. I know, it's stunning, but they shouldn't know anything about alchemy. Well, they are his sons after all. Ed and Al wait outside but hear their mother walking, and both looked up at her and stand. And the three walked down the road. Trisha looks at her husband's alchemy book. Okay, boys, no secrets. When did your dad teach you alchemy? How can we learn from someone who's never here? We learned it from his book. You mean you really understand it on your own? Pretty much. Ed looked up at his mom. So, are you upset with us? But she talks back. You mean for using alchemy? No, Ed, I'm proud. The boys feel happy at this. I think I'll brag to everyone I know. Oh. Yep. Back at the Elric's house, Trisha tells Ed and Al about the rules to their father's research room. Now be sure to put the books where you found them. Put them back. My bad. We will. And when your dad gets back, make sure you thank him. Okay. And that door is off limits, okay? Ed and Al ran to their dad's research books. We hear you. She looks at the two playing with her dad's research books. There they are. Get that one. No, you get that one first. And both knocked down the books landing on them. And Trisha lets out a sigh. It's like, oh, you boys. They look out at the Amestris military passing by their house. Their father left a long time ago when the Elric brothers were still boys. Their mother stared off in the distance a lot, but she carries on if nothing were wrong. They started studying alchemy like their father before them. Edward and Alphonse go back to the table to study more about alchemy. Trisha turns around and smiles at him. At them. The more they learned, the more she smiled. She praised them, and they compete with each other. They became absorbed in the science that made you feel like you were magic. Magic. Year 3229. Ed and Al show their mom the toys they made with alchemy. Recap. And Al's continuing. You think Dad would be proud too? Ed and Trisha make a clear expression, and she answers. Yes, once he comes home, he'll tell you so. Okay. Ed takes the toy from his mom's hand and runs away while Al catches up to him. I'm going to Winry's. Brother, wait! Ed and Al sit on a hill looking over Risenbull, talking about their father. Brother, why are you so angry at Daddy all the time? Come on. Why do you think he ditched us? I can't say I hate him. I don't remember him enough, but when Mom thinks of him, she gets sad. That's a reason not to like him. Al looks down while sitting next to Ed. I guess. Ed pats Al's head and stands up. Come on, let's show this to Winry. Banako and Winry set the table while Ed and Al looked at Winry crying. What do you mean dead? Don't be stupid, Al! They're planned dead! My mom and dad are dead! But how? They were just doctors. They went to be surgeons in the War of Ishbal. There was a soldier that killed them with a surprise attack. Alphonse walks up to Winry, putting his toy on the table while Ed and Pinocchio listen. Winry, our dad is gone too, you know. We make it okay. But Winry smacks Al's toy off the table. Shut up, you idiot! Yeah, this is literally 03. Not sure if this is a lazy approach or in case people don't know about 03. I guess because Brotherhood really did rush its season 1. No kidding, people. At least with 03, it took its time. So, there's that. Your dad just ran off! My parents are dead and they're never coming back! Hang on a moment. Sorry about that, guys. Let us continue. Edward picks up Al's toy off the ground. Or table? Okay, it was off the floor. And he talks about something while Winry and Al listen. That's not necessarily true. Huh? I read it in a book. There's this artificial made thing called a homunculus. It's sort of like a living doll without a mind to begin with. But some science believe in alchemy if you're willing to give it up enough. Pinocchio interrupts and yells at Ed for talking about a homunculus. Stop! There will be no talking about those things in this house. Do you understand me? That's a forbidden science. Alchemy should be taken seriously. That's why we male engineers exist. Ed and Al walk outside of Winry's house while Pinocchio and Winry watch them leave. Let's go, Al. And the two walk home. You know, she's right. Winry has already lost more than we ever will. Poor Winry. Can you imagine how that would be? Ed looks at his mother. Trish opens the door and looks and waves at her sons. Both feel emotional and ran over to her and hug, both in tears. What's the matter with you two? Come on, be a man, would you? My little man. What could be so bad? 32:31. Ed and Al ran home smiling while holding a basket of fruit. Ed opens the door with Al behind him. Hello, Mom. Sorry we're late. Ed and Al look shocked when they see their mother lying on the floor with fruit and vegetables on the floor. Okay. And the boys drop their baskets of fruit and walk to their mother lying on the ground. Mom? Mom? The crow doctor talks to Pinocchio about Trisha's sickness. We just have to wait. I can tell you this isn't some sort of sickness she contracted yesterday. She must have been dealing with this for years by not telling anyone. Ed and Al looked at their sick mom in the bed. Honey. Ed puts his hand on Hohenheim's letter and talks to Al. These are all letters he sent us. If we mail some of these to each of these addresses, explaining everything, someone is bound to know where he is and tell him to come home. Damn it, I don't want him here, but it's the only way. She has to see him. Trisha talks to Ed and Al while she's sick in bed, while Winry and Pinocchio and the Crow Doctor watch. Your dad, he left us money. I never touched it. I was saving it for you boys. Use it and take care of each other. Don't be silly. We'll use it with you. Edward, would you be a sweetheart and transmute something for your mother? Yes, I know. Flowers would be nice. You see, your father always used to make them for me. And then she dies. On the day of the funeral was held for Trisha Elric with flowers on her grave. Ed, Al, who were crying on his knees, Winry, Pinocchio, and other Mopians from Risenbull showed up at her funeral. Hours later, Ed and Al are the ones sitting at the grave. I gotta tell you something, people. Now, this is actually a personal thing that I never really talked about in my videos, nor did I ever bring it up. I'm sure you must have caught a glimpse of the fact that I mentioned siblings when really I mentioned about my sister, yet never talked about my other sibling. I used to have a brother. His name was Alex, and he was a great YouTuber. Always into Dragon Ball and such, yet he had this kind of sickness too, and a few years back, he passed away in his sleep. We couldn't do anything. We didn't know if it's that serious or not, but let's just say it was a grim day for all of us. I was the only one who didn't cry. Possibly because I had to be strong. For people who have family members, cherish them as much as you can because they're your family. And if they mean that much to you, just tell them they mean a lot to you. Personally to you. I'm doing fine, everyone. Because I at least had people who supported me. And I thank you all for that. Now, let us pretty much get back to this. Sorry for bringing up that little sad story. Brother, I'm feeling hungry, and it's cold here. Let's go home, please. Once Dad comes back, everything will be... Don't talk about him! That bastard didn't even come... He didn't even care about us. He's not our dad. He didn't even come to Mom's funeral. Ed and Al continued to look at their mother's grave until Ed had an idea. There might be a way to bring Mom back. But Pinocchio and those books said that using of alchemy to bring people back is something you're not supposed to do ever. That's right. Ed stands up. That's why it will be our secret. Winry talks to Ed and Al from behind. I thought I would find you here. What do you want, Winry? You know what Grandma says? She said that you shouldn't cry for loved ones who just passed away because when you do, it makes you feel sadder in the afterlife too. We're not crying. And who are you to talk anyway? Every time your parents go away somewhere, you cry like a baby. Winry gets her feelings hurt by Ed. I do not. I don't. Ed keeps making fun of Winry while Al watches them. Are you sure, baby? I feel so stupid for worrying about you. And then she runs off. I'm going home to tell Grandma not to after her. So this is Brotherhood's part? Okay. I guess they do go hand in hand together, so there's that. Hey, where are you going to that for? Hold up! Yeah, wait for us! At the automail shop, Alphonse drinks his milk while Pinocchio tells Ed to drink his. At the dinner table, with them all sitting. Come on, Ed, drink your milk too. No, I hate milk. Because the author, she draws herself as a cow, and it's pretty funny. If you don't drink it, you'll stay short forever. Ed gets mad at Pinocchio for calling him short. You mean like you? You silly little hag? And the two yell at each other while Alphonse and Winry make odd expressions. What's that, you little half-pint midget? You mini witch! Micro little bean! Mini gram! Subatomic strap! On an island, Ed and Owl chase a real rabbit. Make a fire, go fishing, go camping during the rain. They've used some of the money to find themselves a master, and they've learned alchemy from page 1 with a serious kind. They were done making dolls and roses. Oh, Zoomy! Oh boy, get ready for some sciencey talk, people. Please. 32. Back in the Elric's house on a rainy night, Ed and Al follow the ingredients for resurrection transmutation. Water, 35 liters. Carbon, 20 kilometers. Ammonia, 4 liters. Lime, 1.5 kilograms. Pheromone, 800 grams. Salt, 250 grams. Saltpeter, 100 grams. Sulfur, 80 grams. Fluorine, 7.5 grams. Iron, 5 grams. Silicone, 3 grams. Yeah, that's everything. The physical ingredients of a Mobian body. Ed and Al gather up Trish's remains in the middle of the transmutation circle for the resurrection transmutation. Now that we can just put together her soul, we should call Mom back from the other side. Alphonse feels worried about the transmutation him and his brother are going to do. Edward, you're sure we should do this? Of course. Don't whip out on me now. But no one has ever done this right. I mean, alchemy is equivalent exchange. The body seems simple enough. But what about the soul? What can we possibly offer? Just hold out your finger, okay? Both of them use a knife to cut their fingers so they could put their blood on the remains. Like what in the books say about the resurrection transformation, a living body lies dormant, one waiting to be filled with the spark of life. This is our blood from her blood. That's a fair trade. Oh boy. A male wolf and a female soldier fox look over at the Elric's house on a hill on a rainy night. There's something foul in here. Ed and Al begin the resurrection. Ed feels excited, but the transmutation lights turn from bright to dark, changing Ed's expression to afraid that something isn't feeling right at all. Al was scared and talks to Ed. Brother, something is wrong here. Ed then hears Al screaming and turns around. Ah! And he was disappearing. Ah! Ed tries to run over to Al, but Ed looks to see his leg disappearing. Yeah, Al's body is disappearing. Brother! Brother! Ed tries to hurry as he can to try and grab Al. Brother! Please! No! Al! Al's body disappears, and Ed almost had grabbed it, but fails. The wolf soldier and fox look at the Elric's house glowing purple. Edward ends up in a weird place that's all white with a gate behind him. Al, wait, uh, what was I doing? I just... Ed hears a voice and looks shocked. Hello? Ed looks at a person with the same body structure as him with what was all white. No facial expressions at all. Who are you? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. I am called by many names. I am the world. I am the universe. I am the multiverse. I am God. I am truth. I am all. I am one. And I am also, and Truth points to Ed, you. The gate opens behind Ed, and the boy turns around. You have dared to knock on the door. Now the door is opened. The dark arms grab Ed while Ed was trying to escape. The dark arms pull Ed inside the gate, and Truth talks. Quiet, child. This is what you wanted, is it? I will show you the truth. Ed screams while the arms pull him into the memories inside the gate. It's too much! It's too much! Make it stop! What's happening to me? Stop it! Make it stop! Make it stop! Ed sees a white body structure of his mother. Mom! Please stop! Ed gets out of the gate, and the Truth asks him, how was it? Ed turns round to the gate. I see. My theory of the resurrection transmutation wasn't wrong. It can be done. It's possible. Ed puts his hands on the gate. It's still just missing something. All the answers I need are just right here. The truth about the resurrection. Then Truth stands up. Please, you have to show me it again. I can't do that. Yeah, karma is a major pain. I've shown you all I can about the toll you paid. Toll? What toll? And Truth steals Ed's leg. This, surely you knew. Ed freaks out that his leg got stolen. Ah! The Truth gets into Ed's face. It's the law of equivalent exchange. Right, young alchemist? The Elric brothers knew the laws of science of equivalent exchange. The game required sacrifice, but something had to be taken from them. But there was nothing they could lose. They were wrong. Ed gets out of the weird place with his leg gone and Al gone with only his clothes on the floor. Alphonse, say something. Oh no. Stay with me, damn it. It wasn't supposed to. Edward limbs that got taken away, dripping blood on the floor. No! What have I done? Ed looks at something. The smoke clears out of the room. An arm raises up. Ed looks aside. The smoke clears out of the room, making Ed see more of the body. Is that you? Ed looks shocked at the disturbing-looking body with a face of so skeletal, with gray fur and purple glowing eyes. Sorry. Ed crawls to the big suit of armor that just got knocked down. No! Damn it! You won't take him too! Ed draws his blood on the suit of armor. Give it back! He's my brother! Take my leg! Take my arm! Ed shouts, take my heart! Anything you can have it! Just give it back! He's my younger brother! He's all I have left! Ed transmutes to get Al's soul inside the armor. Alphonse wakes up with his soul attached to the armor. He gets up and looks at his body. Huh? What is this? Al looks at Edward with a lost arm and a lost leg. Huh? I'm sorry. Al. Alphonse walks up to Ed. Brother, what happened to you? And me? What happened to me? And he picks him up. There wasn't much time. I used my right arm as material in the transmutation. All I could manage to attach your spirit is the armor in the corner. But what about Mom? You shouldn't look. Al looks at the disturbing body with ribs sticking out. I don't understand, Ed. What happened? Your theory, they all seemed right. The theory wasn't the problem, Al. It wasn't the math, nor the science. It was us. Al carries Ed out the house. A mysterious Tendrick in the shadows appears and walks up to the disturbing body. Well, look what we have here. His son's made me another pawn. There, my dear. The Tendrick gives the disturbing body a bunch of red stones. Eat. The disturbing body eats the red stones that the Tendrick gave to it. Yes, when I heard she died, I knew it would come to this. The Tendrick red eyes show up with snake-looking pupils. Oh, is that Dante? Tell me if that is Dante. After all, they are the sons of Hohenheim. The next morning, the wolf soldier looks shocked at seeing the blood stains on the floor. And in the middle of the transportation circle, the fox soldier walks in the room. Lieutenant Colonel Mustang. There's not in the back either. What is this? Where are they? Where are the Elric brothers? I want them found. Mustang and his fox assistant knock down the door with a real dog barking and Pinocchio telling the dog to be quiet. Arr, arr, arr. Oh, hush then. Don't bark at our guests. Pinocchio opened the door. Yes? Mustang and his assistant walk in and Pinocchio yells at them. Mustang looks around for the Elric brothers. Hey, what is this? You have no reason for barging in here. Mustang looks at Edward in a wheelchair with Alphonse behind him. And Mustang grabs Ed by the shirt collar. We went to your house and we saw saw something on the floor. What was that? What did you do? Mustang gets tapped on the shoulder by Al. We're sorry. We didn't mean it. Mustang looks at Al while grabbing Ed by the shirt. We're sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. Wait, are you? Mustang talks to Pinocchio while Ed and Al were seated at the table. This is a surprise, to say the least. I heard reports that there was a brilliant alchemist living in this town. Mustang pulls out the letter and puts it on the table. He's reading someone else's mail. And how much you want to bet that was a calling card? I don't know. Could be that. Alphonse talks to Mustang. One of our letters. You know where my dad is? I only wish, kid. We've been looking for von Hohenheim for a long time. And we're still only kicking up dirt. We wanted to get into the war with Dr. Robotnik in Metropolis, but the president won't allow us to for some unknown reason. Ah, that gets brought up. Okay. Mustang continues his conversation. But what I did find was a boy skilled enough to attempt the resurrection transmutation, or advanced enough to bond a soul to a suit of armor. Mustang looks at Ed. I'd say he's more than qualified to become a state alchemist. Should he choose to accept the position, he'll be required to serve the Amestris military in the times of national emergency. In return, he'll receive privileges to access otherwise restricted research materials. Given time, they'll be able to find a way to get their bodies back, or even more. I understand what you're meaning, Mustang, but, yeah. Not really a good thing. Pinocchio slams her cane and talks. Right after he came stumbling to my door, half dead and covered in blood, I went over to their house to see for myself what had happened. What was there? Wait, what was there? Flashback of Pinocchio went into Elric's house to find the disturbing body was missing, but the floor had blood and tracks starting from the transmutation circle. The body was missing, but whatever that thing was, it wasn't Mobian. Alchemy created that abomination. It nearly kills people who attempt it. And you want to throw those boys headlong into it? Would you really have them go through that kind of hell again? The fox soldier sits on the couch while Winry gives her tea. Some tea? Yes, thank you. Winry sits down with the fox. Say, Lieutenant, just Riza. Please, it's Riza Hawkeye. Hawkeye tries to give Winry a handshake, but Winry looks down. Nice to meet you. Lieutenant Riza, have you ever had to shoot anyone? And Hawkeye gave an answer. Yes, I have. Winry looks depressed. I hate what you soldiers do. Soldiers like you are the reason why my mom and dad left during the war, and a soldier are the reason and are dead. First I hear about this fat overlander taking over a nice country, then my parents dying, soldiers, and other people dying in wars, and now you. And now you're here to take Ed and Al away too. Hawkeye speaks. If they go, that decision will be theirs, and theirs alone. Winry looked at Hawkeye. Yes, it's entirely up to them now. Mustang talks to Ed. I'm not forcing you. I'm merely offering you the possibility. Hawkeye speaks. Whether, whenever, when either to move forward or to stay still. And Mustang speaks again. Will you stay in the chair sulking in pity, or will you stand up to seize the chance the military can give you? It's their choice. They choose their own path. If you believe the possibility exists of getting your bodies back, you seek it out. Keep moving whatever it takes. Even if the way ahead lies the river of mud. Okay. Winry looks at Hawkeye and looks down at the tea. Ms. Riza, why did you become a soldier? She gives the answer. Because there's someone I have to protect. Mustang opens the door where Hawkeye and Winry were sitting. Hawkeye gets up, and Winry looks at the two, leaving. We're leaving. Yes, sir. Hawkeye says goodbye to Winry at the front of the house. Well, I guess this is goodbye, young lady. Winry tries to shake Hawkeye's hand. It's Winry. Right. Bye, Winry. And they shook hands. Aw. I hope we meet again someday. Pinocchio and Winry look at Mustang and Hawkeye leaving with a taxi cab. Do they have taxi? Never mind, never mind. This is a crossover after all, so why should I question it? And the two talk in the cab. Will they be coming? They will. That boy. I never looked at anyone so defeated. That's what you saw. Ed looks out the window, looking at the cab leaving, looking serious. No, there was fire in those eyes. Well, it's Ed. He's determined. He has the determination. Yeah, get ready to hear some Undertale references, people. When the three come back into the house, they listen to Ed about him becoming an alchemist. I left the money in the house from last night. It's in the closet. I'm sure it's safe. There are more important things to worry about right now. That's not what I'm saying. I want you to take it as payment for automail. I can't go through my plan lugging around a couple of stumps. I'm going to visit that man Mustang and become a state alchemist. He's not the only one I heard from. The teacher we had told us about state alchemists. What about your master telling you about state alchemists that are just thugs like Robotnik? Did your teacher mention that? In the attack that took the lives of my son, that were alchemists involved. When wars go on, are you ready to do the same? I don't want to be chained to do the state any more than you. But I'll do whatever it takes to fix things. Fix you? Or the world? Make sure you ask yourself that. Ed screams in pain while Winry and Pinocchio are giving Ed his automail surgery. Ooh, ow. Yeah, we see that, and it definitely is painful. Just bear with us, Ed. It's the highest quality product we can do. Al opens the door, but Winry tells Al to stay out. Stay out of the room, Al! Al's eyes popped his eyes and shuts the door. Pinocchio tells Ed what Winry and her are really doing in this operation. That was quite the loud scream there. We're attaching each of your nerves to the mechanisms. This pain's nothing. Al listens to Ed outside the operation room compared to what he's given up. Months have passed, and Alphonse is training in his armored body outside near the lake. Al looks at his older brother, now having long hair tied in a braid, walking. It's been enough time. We should see what we can do. To train the mind to its potential, you've got to train the body. That's what our master said. But I don't know how can you be as empty heap of steel? Better than a couple cripple on the auto mail, I know that. Yep, typical brothers. Ed smirks and uses his automail arm, then rushes to attack Al. Al blocks. Ed punches. Ed jumps and kicks Al, but he blocks. Ed jumps again. Al counters. And they were chatting. Brother, are you serious about being a state alchemist? I'm serious about trying. I'm going to see this Mustang guy and find out if I have a shot. I don't want you to join. I've made up my mind. Then I will too. You can't. Brother, are you going to try and bring Mom back again? I mean, we agreed it was a mistake, right? All the bad things that happened around Mobius and us. Al tries to punch Ed, but Ed dodges, making Al fall down. And Ed jumps back to the ground. Al gets back up. I'll become the state alchemist, and I'll find a way to get you back to normal with a real arm and leg again. Then you can forget all those other things you say you have to do. It's not your burden to carry, Al. Well, why shouldn't I be? I wanted you to stop, but I went along with it anyway. I'm the one who had the feeling. I should have acted on it. And then you gave up your arm to save me. And yeah. Ed kicks Al. Al falls to the ground again. Ah! You've got no place feeling sorry for me, Al, okay? Al gets up and continues to talk to Ed. But, brother, I'm serious. I'm the one who has to fix things and get your body back. Then, you won't try bringing Mom back again? Well, the chances there isn't anything in this world we can trade for Mom's soul. Besides all that, I don't want to risk losing you again, Al. Good. I'll have to come with you. Huh? And why's that? You're no good without me. You just turned into a big jerk. Thanks for the enthusiasm. But seriously, we're all we've got. From now on, we can't let that pull us apart. Pinocchio, Winry, and Den look at the brothers. If I basically recall, Al gets knocked into a river. No way, he gets knocked into the lake. Tyrex, you should have added that. Just to point it out. The Elric's house is being burned all over that night. The glass breaks from the windows. Even though they were trying to restore their own bodies, in and out through their lit of torches up at the burning house. It was still a resurrection transformation they were after a forbidden science. The Elric brothers look at their house burning down. If they fail the next time, there will probably be nothing left of them. They had no idea what the future would hold, but they knew that there was no turning back. The ceiling is falling apart in the bedroom and the burning house. So the day they left their burned down the family home and all the familiar things inside, and I now walked away from the blazing place because some memories aren't left to leave traces. And that was the special episode, people. I hope this wasn't too boring for you because, like I said, this is literally this is basically how they had the idea to, well, we're going to join the military while also having to deal with the sense of loss and what they had done. That's all that was wrapped up in this. So good job at recreating this, Tyrex. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you all later. Bye, everybody.